4, 3, 2, 1, launch.
sorry. I don't know what I did.
It looks good.
No, it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, are we good?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay. Okay. We'll keep going.
I think so.
Segment. Oh, segment.
Yeah.
See, you're in my new. That's good.
Woo! Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Sure.
First move. Repeat.
Sure.
Yeah! Woo! All right. Good evening, Waybackers. My name is Adam Carter. You have landed on the Wayback Sessions, and here we all are together again tonight. If you've been around, you know how this works. If you are new to the show, thank you for joining us. We would like to ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It's free after all. Like the video. And don't forget that there is a donation link in the description. If you are so inclined to support live music, tonight's talented band, and the Wayback Sessions of this show. On that note, I would like to talk a little bit real quick about the Wayback Foundation. We have had an incredible contribution this week as we continue to keep the show going and to keep it growing with our future ideas, our programs that are coming with youth, and to keep this happening. I'll get into more of that later, but right now I want to jump right into this. And I want to welcome Urban Nocturnes to the show. Good evening, band.
Hello.
Can I call you a band?
Wow.
We are a band, right? Yes.
Yes.
So here we have, Waybackers on our left, we have Karen Sinclair on violin. We have Christopher McKay. And we have Viviana Wilson. And Peter, yes, I read your comment. You guys can talk about that later. So, yeah, thank you guys for being here tonight. It sounds absolutely awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, Waybackers, right, no, I should have said, hey, everybody. So, you know what, Christopher, Karen was on it. She had her mic
She
in
was on it.
place.
Yeah, she's always on top of it.
So, you know, I do want, Waybackers, I want to impress upon you tonight what we have on the show, what we have in the studio. Not only an amazing band and talented musicians, but everybody from the Phoenix Symphony. I believe I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
first violin?
First violin section.
Yeah. Viviana, principal, flute? Yeah. Principal flute.
Yes.
Yeah, what is that? Wait. What does that mean? Principal.
principal? Well, it means that you lead the section. So all of your parts say first flute, and it's a different part from second flute and piccolo and all of that. So it's a little bit different than from string sections where there's a large number of the same instrument. For a lot of the woodwinds and brass, we're basically all one on a part.
So you crack the whip.
Yes, and they really make me do it.
I can tell. Now, Christopher, pass the mic over to Christopher. Christopher McKay, you are no stranger to this show. You've been in this room before.
Yes.
You have played. And the last time, let me see if I can get this correct. The last time you were in here, you were acting assistant principal viola.
Yes, nice long title.
Now, are we still acting
We are.
assistant principal? Okay, so I want to, but before you get going, I want to say, who can we talk to about removing that acting part? Like who is this? Do I need to write letters? I mean,
I've been asking that for years. Now, I think it might change next season, but we'll see. It remains to be seen.
okay.
But happy to do it.
Yeah. So we have this band, and this is what we're focusing on tonight. And you guys are rocking out, is what I'm going to call it. So can you tell the audience and educate me a bit about what we heard? Like, I don't think it was just one composer, song, piece, etc., etc. The floor is yours. What do you got to say?
Yeah, we tried to mix it up a little bit. We played 3 different composers. The first one was a German late romantic from the late 19th century composer. His name is Max Reger.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that we played was by a much older dead person named Franz Joseph Haydn. He's probably one of the more well-known ones. He wrote a lot of symphonies for symphony orchestra. He wrote a lot of string quartets, violin and viola. And then the third thing that we played was by a Hungarian composer named Andrzej Czerwinski. Hungarian.
Don't mix that up.
Yeah, I got my sort of Central and Eastern European mixed up. But he was a Hungarian composer from the 20th century. His music is he was very interested in the folk music of Hungary, so his music is embedded with that.
Now, you said that you had taken a piece and kind of shuffled it over to what you need to do, and we do have violin, viola, and flute, and I'm picking up that that's a pretty unique setup. Can you talk about that a bit? And you do call yourself a modular chamber orchestra, and these are all lots of words. Yeah, Karen? What do you have to say to that?
Well, our group is comprised of 6 members, and
I only count 3.
That's right. We have never all 6 of us played at the same time because there really isn't music written for the instrumentation of our ensemble. What the modular part of it means is that we are a group of 6 people that all play with each other in different formations, and usually on our concerts, the way we like to program it is to kind of switch it up even on that same program. Like, say, if we have 4 of our members performing, we'll do some duets, some trios, and some quartets. It just keeps it interesting, and also it's very difficult to find repertoire for the combinations of instruments that we like to put together, or for the people that we like to play with.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just makes for a better program if we can provide that type of variety in programming.
So I'm going to come completely out of the blue. I'm going off paper and off script right now, totally. So have you guys ever thought of like writing for specifically that group of individuals that you're playing with? Or having it composed, rather?
Yeah, we have actually talked about maybe pursuing a commission. That nothing has come to fruition yet, but it's something that's, on our minds.
Oh, that might be something that I'm intrigued by. I want to hear that. I might be. We'll talk off air. Well, you know what? We've got tons and tons of stuff to chat about. Can you tell us a bit about what we're going to hear next? And then could you play it? Do we have more music? We do?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So we're going to start off with a movement from that Haydn trio, the one that was originally for 2 flutes and cello. So this will be the first movement of that. Second, we're going to bounce back to Max Reger's Serenade, the second movement there, which is a very lyrical and kind of, I don't know, I find it a little gushy, very romantic. And then coming back to our Czerwinski second movement, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Second movement of that, which is
We're pretty
Pretty
convinced
jumpin'.
that's what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
All right, the show is yours. I can't wait. straight?
Good.
It's never straight.
You need to be done. You're good.
I know I'm breaking rules, but that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Rules are meant to be broken.
That's right.
As long as you understand them first. like, here's the deal. So I want to, first of all, I'm going to say, Studio B, get ready. I'm going to come to you next. I know that there's a ton of comments happening out there. I want you to particularly, find the one from Joy, find the one from Gary Drums.
You tell me how to do my job?
No, and then Rick Napoli, because I want you to lead off with that one. Anyway, but here's what I wanted to. Yeah, everybody's got their mic there. You know what? So who was that? The composer of that one.
Stravinsky.
Okay, so
Hungarian.
we established earlier that I was a big fan of his and didn't know it, right? Okay, Christopher, remember this when we come back. I want to talk about why I like that so much, because I don't know. I mean, I know, but I think you might know as well. So real quick, let's segue over to Studio B. Studio B, are you there? Can you hear us?
Just a second.
In just a second.
Yeah, it messed up.
It messed up. No,
There we go.
but
Hi.
you're there. Hi, Studio B.
Everyone.
It's good to have you in the house. Yeah. Okay. So hey, like there was a lot of stuff going on in the chit chat
Yeah.
universe there.
Yeah.
Can you get into some of that and
can.
like toss it directly at these urban nocturnes?
Okay,
Like I want them
so
to field these right
Rick
now.
Napoli says, please ask them in an orchestra setting, is
Uh-huh.
anyone really paying attention to the conductor,
Uh-huh.
or is he just there to load gear and drive the van?
Yeah,
I like
no.
that. Load gear and drive the van.
That's right. Well, look, we've got quite a diverse audience out there, so they might be speaking in rock and roll terms. You never know. Yeah, somebody.
I mean, I'd be hard pressed to ever find a conductor loading gear and driving the van, but that's not really their job. So to be
Good,
fair,
fair enough. Fair enough.
however, yes, the orchestra is paying attention to the conductor. So basically, when you have 80 people on stage trying to play together, you kind of need someone steering the ship a bit. Otherwise, everyone's ideas will just run wild and nothing will be together and it'll just be, a giant mess. So that really is the purpose there. And they also sort of shape their musical vision as
Now,
well.
Viviana, I did hear you use the term a bit, so I would like to define that in percentage terms. Like they're steering the ship 20% or like
No.
90%.
They're steering the ship. I mean,
Quite a bit.
Yes.
Like I don't need to put you on the spot,
No,
but
no.
like I kind of do.
yes, no. They're very much steering the ship. But the musicians amongst ourselves, we are also sort of communicating and steering things too. Because, I mean, that's one person on the podium trying to manage a lot of people. So within us, sort of just imagine it like, in different sections and different areas, like we're constantly looking at each other and visually communicating and moving in terms of like, physically with our instruments so that, we know that we are also connected musically, because I mean, they're not making sound up there conducting.
No.
We are the ones that make the sound. So, they sort of lead us, but we're kind of responsible ultimately. for
So
making
were
sure
you
the
paying
sounds
attention to me
good.
conducting back here while you were playing?
I
Were you
mean,
paying attention?
I have
like,
my hair parted this way.
Was
for a
it? Oh, so
reason.
you just couldn't see. The light isn't bright enough on me. That's fine. Okay, fair enough. We'll talk about that off air. Studio B
So we
next.
also have some volume said, ooh, classy with the wine glass.
So that was
Yes.
like a heavy duty rock and roll band out of Chicago that was on a few weeks ago. So that's
we have wine, we have tea that Hi Studio B looks great, sounds perfect thus far, and this and a pot of tea, perfection.
oh yeah,
and that
David
is-
Skinner from England piping
Yes,
in. Okay.
Yes, and so with tea comes biscuits, right? Gotta have some biscuits. Lots of biscuits.
What did-
I knew Adam had a baton, Gary says.
Of course I do.
And what did Joy? Joy said, well, that you're hilarious, but she just love those 32 note run.
On the flute, yeah. She was like, I'm loving those 32 note runs on the flute.
Yeah.
So what is that? All is she right?
I mean,
Pretty
sometimes,
much.
Yes, that is happening
Okay.
quite a bit here.
Well,
She-
she's a saxophone player, so yeah. Grab the mic,
I was gonna
Christopher.
say she could show the camera your music.
Yeah.
Sure.
Viola music does not look like flute music. They have a lot more notes than violists do.
Let me
So that is what like Mr. Frank Zappa would call a black page.
zoom up.
Just
let me turn you
completely,
off. Can you guys see that? All right.
just a lot of, Yeah, that's giving me a headache right now.
Yeah.
Now, who else said somebody? There's so much. There's so much. What else? Any Studio B? Anything else?
Incredible dynamics and intonation is what Joy said.
Well, yeah, it's amazing.
And then she walked in and all kinds of mind blown. Just want to walk into this. Let's see. There was also
Somebody
Jacob-
wants to buy your T-shirt.
Oh yeah, they need to have a T-shirt and a logo that says something about "I am with the band."
So
I
yep.
am Patrick McElhaney.
Okay. Well, you know what? We will come. Studio B, thank you very much
You're
for keeping us up
welcome.
to speed
Just like
on what's
you
going
know,
out in the Chit
it's
Chat
fun.
universe.
Thanks,
Let's
Adam.
get back. I want to crack into. I'm going to crack into some personal stuff. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm going to start gentle, and then I'll get naughty. I love talking about gear. I love talking about instruments, and I'm going to go in this direction. Christopher, grab that mic. Are we still playing that 1972 17-inch US-built by a Dutch maker in Rhode Island viola?
Excellent. Yes, that is correct. I am. Yes, probably the viola I will spend the rest of my life with.
Like, dude, were you not impressed with my memory?
I am very impressed.
Okay.
I'm very impressed. Yeah.
No, and you have it's kind of on the darker side of tone, and I'd love for you to tell people a little bit about that might have missed that other session you were at.
Sure. Well, usually violins come in a standard size for professional musicians. Violas come in kind of very varying sizes. So if you just want to hold up our instruments, can I take that? Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the viola is a bit bigger than the. Yes. Thank you, Vanna White. The violin's a bit smaller. The viola, the viola is thicker. So because it's bigger, it makes a bigger sound. So, lower sound. Excuse me. Yeah. That's
Yeah, no, it's Karen. We've had the pleasure of having, I'll say, a good amount of pretty awesome violins in here. Stephen Meckel was in here. Maggie, I'm not going to say her last name because I always mess it up, has been in here. Both with French violins, both with what I consider more of a darker tone, which I like. Tell us about what you're playing and why.
Sure. This is actually an American violin. It was made in 1995 in Chicago, and
A baby violin.
it's the shop of William Harris Lee, and it's called a shop instrument because they don't actually stamp the maker in there. They just categorize them by number, and they pump out a lot of instruments. And this is a pretty solid instrument. That shop is still putting out shop instruments, but this one I think is actually a really good one out of the ones that they're currently selling.
It sounds brilliant. A beautiful instrument. And would you characterize the tone just like, I don't even know where to start with the bass line, but is it a touch brighter? It's not so much on the darker side of tone, or am I not?
I think it's sort of in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. There are certainly brighter instruments. The violin that I normally play on is a very dark instrument. This is actually my husband's instrument. He's a violist now, but he went to college on violin 20-some years ago, and this is what he played. So we dug this out. My current the instrument that I own is currently getting restored.
Okay.
It's super old.
Yeah, that's from the 1600s, and it's,
Oh!
yeah, it's an antique. And
So that might trump everything that's been in the room had you brought it in.
exactly.
Might
it's
you-
actually going to take a year for them to
Whew.
really
Okay.
shore everything up on the inside. And with instruments like that are very fragile, they just need every 20 years or so to be taken apart and
Just
really-
cared for.
Yeah, because most of them have sustained some kind of damage, and then there's just wear and tear. So
Of course, if you're playing and loving an instrument, that happens. Perhaps it'll be possible in a year when that comes back to you that you guys would come back on the show and play it on here.
sure,
for
I'm
me?
really excited to get it back. So.
I bet you are. Yeah, you're like whatever, Adam. So Viviana, yeah, get that mic over there.
Get it.
So a couple of things for you. I would like to know, So I find that instruments usually choose the person that's going to play them. Like usually it's a fight the other direction. At least I've seen and found. First question, how did that work out for you? Why did you choose the violin, or how did it choose you?
I mean, the violin never chose
I'm
me.
so sorry. The flute. I'm looking at you with a flute, and I totally yeah, no, you are correct.
So yeah, I started actually as a pianist. At 6 years old, that was my first instrument, and I loved it. Had a great time playing piano. And when I got a little bit older, to junior high age, I was presented with the option of another music elective, and I thought, well, I wanted to play the flute. I mean, my mom says that allegedly we went to some party somewhere when I was really little, and there was a strolling flutist, like entertaining the guests, and that's where I got this idea to play the flute. I don't know, maybe it's true. I have no recollection, but I was just like, yeah, I want to play the flute, and so I started in beginning band, public school, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I have to do this with people. Like, I mean, piano's amazing. It is, I mean, some of the best music ever written is written for piano. Like, they get the best stuff. But it's kind of lonely, you know, especially as a kid, and you're really into it. I mean, you're spending a lot of time alone practicing, when all of a sudden I was like, oh, I get to do this with people, and like now my practice is like in a group, and it's just sort of, you know, I wasn't a sporty kid, so all of a sudden I felt like I found my team. It's like, oh, I'm a band kid, and so from then on I was just like, this is definitely my thing. Yeah.
So who's your favorite rock and roll flautist?
Oh gosh, rock and roll flautist, that's a little tricky.
Not really.
Oh, am I supposed to say Jethro Tull?
Well,
Okay.
I don't know what you're supposed to say. I mean, that was my answer.
Yeah.
Ian Anderson
I mean,
of Jethro
he is
Tull,
kind of
but
the one.
yeah, he is like ultra rock and roll. And we're going to talk about something off air that I want you to hear.
If I have to go non-rock and roll though, and something more contemporary.
100%.
I mean,
who would that be?
Miss Lizzo. She's our girl.
Oh.
She's the new, I mean, ambassador for like making flute cool. So yeah.
Making flute cool. So, do you think that is the most rock and roll instrument?
I mean,
out of the orchestra.
I
Come on,
certainly have
like you can
a
just
really good
hey,
time.
Studio B, just mute everybody else's monitors and Viviana, you're good. You're safe.
I mean, obviously.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Perfect. So let's talk about inspiration for a second. And usually this question goes towards people that are writing songs, and being that you are interpreting on certain levels the master's compositions over hundreds of years. I'm totally fascinated and curious by how does your personal inspiration with your instrument drive the way you approach playing these songs, these compositions, these pieces?
Good question.
Well, you know, I think that sort of inspiration and relationship with the music changes a lot with time. You know, I mean, a younger version of yourself playing something is going to be very different from how you approach it, you know, 10, 20 years later. And even for us in this ensemble, you know, these are pieces that we have, you know, performed before. These are sort of part of our repertoire. And we often comment to each other how we go back and look at some of these markings from like older performances, and we're like, why did we do that? We're not doing that anymore, right? Like, we're changing this.
No,
And
I
so
think
we just sort of, you know, we grow in different ways. I mean, whether it's growing or just evolving, you know, like I said, the dynamic changes. So, I mean, that's one aspect of it.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, there's I actually think this is a super deep question that could probably go on for a while.
Well, another aspect of it is that the better we get to know these pieces and the more that we perform them, the freer our performances are. And actually, you know, each performance will be a little bit different. We'll sort of stay within the guidelines of what we've planned, what we've rehearsed, and what we've discussed. But there's a lot of freedom for interpretation in the moment.
I don't think a lot of people understand that. I think that a lot of people when you're saying I'm playing something that was written by Mozart or Haydn or whatever are going, well, it was written down, it was printed out, here it is, play it. So I don't think that they understand kind of what you said, Viviana, as far as the markings. When you say, oh, looking back at markings from a couple of years ago, I don't think the audience exactly understands what you guys are doing to influence the piece on paper with your markings and to, you know, look at it over time with that freedom that you talk about, Karen. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Sure. There are a lot of details in the music that we need to consider and discuss and agree on, or just disagree on. But they have to do with articulations and tempo changes and transitions. There are a lot of transitions marked, but what does that mean? How much slowing down? How much speeding up? And what do you want the character of this line to be? There's just a lot to discuss, and it can change subtly from performance to performance. We're also very locked in when we're playing to each other and responding.
Right.
You know, if I hear Viviana wants to go a different color with something, then it's my job to, you know, to be sensitive to that and respond.
And you know, it's interesting. Like each composer has also their own voice and way of writing what he or she wants to hear, and so it's also up to us to figure out what that is. The idea is playing music and expressing something, but every composer writes it a little differently. So these pieces that we're playing are a great example. You know, if we were able to show you what the pieces look like, the Rager, for instance, he writes so much of what he wants. They'll play it this dynamic, and then play it this dynamic, and do this and do that. Where it's kind of like, it's actually a little bit over. It's a little micromanaging, yeah, and overkill. Whereas the Haydn is there's almost nothing in the part, and so you just have to go with what you know historically about who Haydn was and what he was trying to do musically, and then you put your own spin, you know, kind of your own spin on it. But you know, it's up to us to kind of decipher each composer and what he or she wants.
You're totally fascinating. I think people don't understand that, especially in today's world with so much recorded material where you can go back and you can listen to it and understand exactly what an artist might have been wanting somebody to do, given that somebody's going to cover that, dare I say, and not having that ability to be so flexible was something that comes off. It looks so darn rigid on paper with the notes. So yeah, no, thank you. I could probably talk about this topic for an hour or two, but we're going to get back to music. However, before we do, we started personal with the instruments. I want to go back to personal a little bit. I want to talk about, and we don't have to talk too much. However, Viviana, I understand you're a hardcore triathlete and you've killed Ironman and stuff.
Yes, I have been known to do those types of events. I have done one Ironman that felt good about it. One was enough.
So you do other things than play music, huh?
I do, yeah. When I moved to Phoenix, I found myself with a really nice group of runners within the orchestra, actually, that sort of took me under their wing. And from someone who had never run a race before in her life, you know, all of a sudden I was signed up for the whole Phoenix running race schedule. And then little by little, just, you know, as someone who is constantly looking for a challenge and likes to sort of, you know, be competitive with herself, it kind of just seemed like a natural fit that I would just keep upping the ante and being like, well, I guess I'm doing triathlons now. Well, how much longer? Which one? What's the next one? Like, you just kind of, you know, easy to sort of snowball into this. But yeah, so it's something I enjoy. And I've made so many wonderful friends through that community as well. I mean, even outside of the orchestra, and within the orchestra. I mean, you train for a marathon with someone, you're spending a lot of hours running together and talking, and so you really do get to know people and forge really close friendships.
Well, you know what? You do strike me as that type of person, and that sounds incredibly awful to me. But I'm so happy for you.
Christopher ran his first 5K with me.
So more running. Well, Christopher, you keep that mic because I'm coming back to you. But Karen, I heard you're a great chef. I read that somewhere. I think there was an Instagram post. and that you have a relationship with spinach, and you've got a dish that you like to cook.
Spinach, I have a relationship with dropping that dish.
Oh! Is that what it was? Did I not read far enough into the article?
No, I do enjoy cooking, and I think it's not unusual for musicians to really like to hang out in the kitchen and prepare food. And I think that part of that might be that, you know, when we're performing, we never really get to enjoy the fruits of it. We're working while the performance is going on. And with cooking, it's like, you know, you're working really hard in the kitchen, but then you also get to sit down and
Enjoy.
it.
Yeah. So speaking of the kitchen, I read an article the other day that that it said Christopher was like an awesome singer, and then like a post popped up and he was like at a party just like killing these show tunes. True?
Maybe. I don't know what that video is. I'd like to see it so I can determine
Confirm
that
or
myself.
deny?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like Viviana started on piano. I started actually on singing in my
You did. You actually did. Okay.
Yeah, and you know, and like growing up in church and singing in the choirs, and then went to performing arts school in Cincinnati, and one of my majors was vocal music, so I sang in choirs and took voice lessons, and I was mainly my voice didn't actually change till I was 16. That was a bit of a late bloomer.
For
but-
reals?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was a tenor in high school, but I could also do a really high falsetto. So I, you know, back in the day,
Can we
even
hear
in my
it?
20s, no, not anymore. I'm not in my 20s anymore, or 30s. But in my 20s, I could still hit a high C, an operatic high C, which I'm
Jeez.
pretty proud of that. But
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. Getting older.
Okay. Well, you know, it happens to the best of us.
That's right. Yeah.
Shall we? More music? You have more?
Sure.
Yeah. You can hook us up.
One more set or two? What do you want? How much
Yeah.
more do you want?
What
We
do
can
you
give you
wanna
as much
do?
as you want.
Let's just start with another set.
All right.
Yeah, you know, we're good. You know, we're over an hour into this. Let's play another set, and you know.
All right. 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just- So I may as well tell you that the next we're going to play the last two movements of the Stravinsky piece. So the first one is a slow, much slower movement, and then the fast, folksy folk dance. Folksy folk dance.
Kind of wanted to cry though, and not clap, but. Okay, so who was that one? Who was the composer there?
Surely you know. It's your guy.
So yeah, now we're gonna go back to that. And you know what? We were asking Christopher earlier, but what is attracting me so much to that? What is doing it?
I mean, I think because it's got so much folk element and sort of kind of raw energy to it, like it's sort of primal in a way, that I think it just, I think that's what's resonating.
Yeah, no, an incredible description on what is happening. It's so lively, and like the emotion is deep, and it's very, dare I say, easy to attach to with all those feelings. Yeah, no, it sounds great. Geez, and people don't understand, like, everything. You guys are playing so fast and so wicked. Like, I only wish that I was good at something in life like you guys are good at your instruments.
Whatever.
Man, like, no, for real. I mean, come on. The command you have, the dynamics, and, audience, we've talked about this before, how quiet and how loud something gets, through the music, the dynamics. But you guys, like, pin dropping stuff. Like, I'm over here on the wood floor and I'm like, I think I heard it creak. I bet that came through. And then you rip off, like, Viviana, that flute. You hit some of those notes and, man, it soars. So you guys, Waybackers, if you would like to go and see Urban Nocturnes live, we would like you to do that. They will be performing live on the 26th. Yeah, at St. Barnabas. What time?
4 p.m.
4 p.m.?
Yep.
Okay. So it's early bird, and you can go out and you can catch another show
Nice.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, and it's at a church.
It's
Don't worry, you won't get there won't be any lightning happening. So.
But see, isn't that the thing? Or you're going to have just great natural reverb and acoustics in that room,
Yeah.
right? Is that part of why you chose to perform in that space?
Well, we're actually Urban Nocturnes is artists in residence at Trinity Cathedral in downtown Phoenix. It's on Roosevelt and First Avenue.
Yeah.
And so we perform 2 concerts a year there. And we
I
just
bet that
are
sounds
looking,
fabulous as well.
It does. Yeah, we're always looking to perform elsewhere. St. Barnabas of the Desert, which is another Episcopal church out in Scottsdale, they have a music series there, and we called them up and said, hey, would you like us? We would love to play on your series. Are you, is that an option? And so they said sure. So that's what's happening this Saturday.
So basically, you called them up and said, "We want to rock your venue."
Yeah.
Like 4 p.m. on the 26th. People,
Yeah.
go see it for yourself. Go be amazed. Yeah, incredible.
And if not, you can go to our website, urbannocturnes.com, check out some other concerts that are coming up, and we try to keep those up to date. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. So
Yes. Thank you for getting to
YouTube.
all of that.
Yeah. Oh, and YouTube. We have lots of videos on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So feel free to check. There's as Karen intimated earlier, there's a lot of duets, trios, quartets, a lot of different combinations that you'll get to hear.
Yeah, like they might even pull it up and go, "Wait, this might not even be the same band." And
Maybe,
that's
yeah.
the modular component.
Right.
No, I love it. Like, if only I could have a bunch of different people in and out. Anyway, let's check in with Studio B real quick. Studio B, what's going on out in Chit Chat Land?
Oh man, it always
Yeah?
does that. I need to fix that.
It does. No, you've got some
Yep.
psychedelic crazy
Mhm.
things happening
Yep,
over there.
there's you twice. Hi
Uh-huh.
everyone.
Hi.
Okay,
Hi.
That was so sweet. Joy said it sounds like the sunrise, the beginning of that piece.
The first piece there.
Yeah, and then here's the dance, and of course we said that there was going to be emojis clapping, and everyone's clapping.
Thanks, everybody.
You guys are so amazing. Thank you so much for inspiring me to play classical again. I miss it so much. Doreen, she is amazing on the flute. And a question from Joy: how long have you guys been playing as a trio?
It's a
Well,
modular crazy
Actually,
thing.
I was remembering. So Karen and I have been playing duets, some other chamber music since about 2008, 2009. And I remember, was it 2013? I just remember we were on this one's porch, drinking lots of wine. I don't know, some night of the week, I have no idea. But we were like, we're really good friends. we should play music together.
We should make a band.
And so that's kind of how that started.
That's all right.
Yeah.
And that's awesome story. So often that's
Did you guys improv?
the way that.
No, we wish.
No. Okay.
So that's the thing. I mean, I'm so jealous of people who know how to improvise.
Yeah.
It's just not. I've never learned. It's a skill,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never learned that. You good?
I mean, and that is like, people study that seriously in school. Like, you get degrees as, jazz musicians, like, they're improvisers. That is exactly what they do, and they're trained. I mean, it's we would be embarrassing ourselves to be like, oh yeah, I can just take a solo here.
I don't
would be
think
cute.
so. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I
think
would
so.
love to test the theory. I'd love to test that theory. Maybe off air first, and we check things out. Maybe you're up for it sometime. We'll have to, maybe.
We'll see.
Okay. For another time. For another evening. So for now, heck, I thought that the end was here, and that we would be ending it right about now. But do you have one more something we can play? Do you?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. We'll play that, and then we'll we'll all.
This will be. How would you describe this, Karen? Maybe like a little an after dinner mint.
Confection.
Confection or something that's like a palate cleanser. The Stravinsky is
a digestive.
a digestif. Yeah, the Stravinsky is so over the top and emotional and all this stuff, and this will be like your digestif.
Okay. I can't wait. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for listening and watching.
Absolutely. Waybackers, thank you for spending another lovely evening with us. Thank you, Urban Nocturnes, for spending your time and talent to perform with us.
Well, we're humbled. I mean,
For us.
this is probably not what you're used to, but so we're honored to be here and share what we do with you. So, yeah.
No, absolutely important, and I love it, and hopefully we've made some new fans for you guys. Waybackers, we will be off next week. However, following up after that, we have Mississippi Nova on the 10th, I believe, and then we have Atlas Past on the 17th. We've got a Casual Divorce coming up later. We'll talk about that another time. But don't forget to go check out Urban Nocturnes on Saturday, the 26th at 4 p.m. Go check out their website, find them on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and like all of the streaming platforms. You guys are killing it out there, right?
Working on it.
Waybackers, thank you very much. You know what? In pure Wayback tradition, we're going to drop the needle on an album. We are going to walk out of the venue and kick the beer cans out of the way as we head back to our car. And, you know, we're going to talk to the band about what an awesome performance and evening it was. Love you all. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Cheers from the Wayback.
All right. Great job, guys.
Yay.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ooh.
I think Shelby wants in.
And yeah, no, I was hearing that kitten meowing.
Do you want to open?
Oh my god, thank you.
That was so great.
Yeah. No, thank you. Oh,
Thank you.
our pleasure.
So much fun. So much fun. You guys, may I?
Yeah, please.
Thank you. Karen.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds.
Great job, you
Jeez.
guys.
It's amazing. Like I don't think. Yeah, just don't think people kind of get it. You know?
You know, it's just different.
We're working on getting it. You know, getting everybody to get it.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
But,
Great
yeah.
job.
So
No,
what
I-
happened at the beginning? That there's something that you thought?
I don't
wasn't
think
working?
anything happened.
Well, something I need to talk to you about
Uh-oh.
because I
Casual
never could.
Yeah,
not
casual
do
divorce.
YouTube. Yeah, I know. I'm
What?
getting a divorce.
Yeah. What?
There was something going on. Don't look over there because that messes with the thought of.
Should I just put my back towards them?
Yeah.
Here,
Put your
I'm gonna
back.
come back here. I'm gonna read some music. Here, how's this? I'll just read Christopher's
There you
viola
go.
parts. That, you know.
Here's the first page of.
So I felt terrible. You know, I do know that the jazzers go to school to really improvise real well, and like that's all I do.
Some people are
Perhaps
just
not that great. I don't know. It's my thing, though. What happened to the music?
I don't know. You didn't put it on.
I did. I dropped the needle and everything.
Do I need to turn it up over here?
Mm,
Gotta turn it on.
I
No
need to
power,
turn
no tunes.
it. Yeah, I killed the power.
Freeze.
Maybe I did. So.
So I don't know what I did.
Is that Steven?
To the left? Yeah, it is.
Yes.
And then I never.
No, I saw a yellow bar and.
And then I was like, I was afraid to go back,
I know.
and I didn't want to touch anything.
I was
so
gonna
I
crawl
started-
over and I saw it keep going and I'm like, somebody will tell us if it's not working. You're
Right.
good. You're good.
Yeah.
I hope. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm fine, yeah.
So I could never answer from the back sessions anymore
Interesting.
because I couldn't get back there. I still can't get back there.
Okay.
I don't know
Well,
how to stop it.
oh, I will. I'll look at it. We will. So.
Yeah, that was great. Great
Well,
job,
we'll just-
you guys. I thought it sounded really good. I hope you guys
Thank you.
like it.
I didn't hear a single mistake.
This little shot here.
They're staring at you right now.
Great.
Especially. Okay. So I hope you do too.
Alright.
I mean,
People love to
there's-
hang on after the show and just
Really?
watch. It's a
Lamp
thing.
is in it as well.
Waybackers, good evening. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Like,